Hey guys, welcome back. I am Tish. This is going to be another dream story video or dream interpretation. So stay tuned and see what God revealed to me through a pool dream. So this dream that I had, I was outside and I seen this pool. It was in the daytime and it was like a standard size pool, like a community pool. It seemed like a private pool. So there was an event going on and there were people standing around this pool. I remember looking at it and for some reason the thought just came to my head. I was like, I wonder how deep it is. And it was one of those pools where it went from shallow to deep. It wasn't all one level. And so I was looking at the deep end and I was like, I wonder if I would sink or float. Because I kind of got this feeling that I might not go under. Like I might actually float because I can't swim. And I also have anxiety when it comes to a large amount of water. And so I was just wondering, I said, I got a feeling that I am not going to sink. I feel like I'm going to float. So I became curious, right? I took my time going close to the pool because there was people around and I don't really care for crowds. I don't like crowds. I can feel anxious over crowds as well. So I said, I'm gonna wait. I waited till a couple of people left. The crowd, it started to wind down. And when it was just a few people standing around, I went to the pool and I went to the deep end and I sat there and I just kind of dangled my feet in the water. I remember the water being blue, not a clear blue, but it was blue. I couldn't see my feet through it, but it wasn't dirty. It was just blue. And so I sat at the deep end and I put my feet in the water. I was just dangling it up and down in the water. And I eventually got up and kind of walked away. I did that to just kind of test it out, just to warm myself up to actually going all the way in if I was going to do that. So let me dip my feet in the deep part first. But I ended up getting up and for some reason I walked away. I can't remember why I walked away. And I just kept procrastinating because I'm scared. When I came back to the pool, like everyone was gone and the pool water was empty. It was empty. And so I said, I waited too late to come back. Now I can't even see what it would be like if I did decide to get in. But with everyone being gone, I walked up to the pool and I was about to walk away, but then I said, no, let me actually go inside the pool with the water gone because it had been drained out. So let me actually walk in the pool and see just how deep the water would have been. So I walked into the pool from the shallow end all the way to the deep end. Tell me why when I went to the deep end, the freaking top of the pool didn't even come above my breast. It stopped just below my breast. I was like, y'all, I was tripping for nothing. I said I had nothing to worry about. And I just kept repeating, I had nothing to worry about. This was the revelation, I believe, that I got through that dream. So right now I'm in a season where I am sitting in the midst of so much. I don't even know if many people can stand firm through what I'm going through. I'm going through a lot. Living in a new city, I am going through a lot and the problems seem so overwhelming. They seem like they can take me out. Like if I didn't have my faith, these problems would have took me out a long time ago. Not only would I have moved back home to New York, but I would have been living in depression. I would have been depressed. These problems, I come close to it sometimes, right? These problems are like, ugh. They are a lot and they are deep and they are heavy and they are weighted. And I feel like the deep end of the pool represents the problems that I am sitting through. The deep problems that I have represents the deep end of the pool. And I feel like my curiosity about if I would sink or float in the deep end of the pool in a dream represents my real life faith that I have to where I'm like, I think I could see myself getting through this. I don't think I could see myself making it. I could see myself coming to my breakthrough. I could see myself having everything that I'm lacking right now. Like God said it's going to be so. So even though I don't have it now, I know it's coming. So my faith lets me know that though these problems are deep, I feel like I'm going to make it through. The same way I had that curiosity in a dream that the water is deep here, but I feel like I would float if I got in it. So that's the correlation. When I got to the pool and put my feet in the deep end at first, just kind of warming myself up to the possibility of actually getting in, I feel like that represented for me in real life, me willing to stay in the problems. Like me willing to put my feet in the deep end of the pool represents me willing to stay in the problems right now in real life. I'm willing to stand firm. That's what I feel like my feet in the deep end of the pool represents. Me being 10 toes down in the deep problems that I am going through now. I feel like when the pool was drained and all the water was gone, that represents my breakthrough in real life, when God will remove all of the problems that I'm facing right now, when God will remove all of the lack and replace it with provision. I feel like that's what the pool being drained means. My season of problems are gone, right? When I decided to walk in to the pool, emptied out of water, I feel like that represents me reflecting on the problems that I'm going through now when they are gone. Like when they're gone, I'm going to have days where I'm sitting there and be like, yo, I really went through this and that. And it wasn't as bad as I thought now that I'm out of it, looking back on it. And that's what I think, you know, me being in an empty pool, realizing that the deep end didn't even come as high. It stopped just below my breast. You know, I thought it would be well over my head. But I said, the pool stops right here. I said, are you kidding me? I had nothing to worry about. And so I feel like when that moment comes in real life, I'm going to be like, wow, God, when I was in those problems, it felt crazy. But now that I'm out of it, those problems wasn't nothing. I really did have nothing to worry about, you know? I feel like, I think that's the interpretation. I called it a revelation. That was the interpretation of the dream. Here is the revelation for me, and it could be the revelation for somebody else. You will see that your problems are not as bad as they are if you can hold out. And you have to hold out, because it's going to be a time period between where you are now and the deliverance of what you're going through. Because remember, in the dream, I was procrastinating. It took time between me observing the pool and me putting my feet in it, because I didn't put my feet in it until it was less people, which means time had went by. And then when I actually walked into the pool when the water was emptied, that happened when the event was over and they cleaned up everything and they drained the pool. That means time went by. There's a waiting period. There was a waiting period, and there's a waiting period for me now, and there's a waiting period for somebody else. But you have to stick around to get to the end of it. I will not see God's glory at the end of this if I pack my things and go back home. You know what I'm saying? I will not see God's glory in even having peace that surpasses all understanding if I decide to just dive into depression and try not to wait out my faith and wait in the peace. For somebody, there's gonna come a point where the deep end pool issues that you are sitting through in your life, they go away, but you have to stick around to see it go away, right? And then when it goes away, you are going to realize that it wasn't as bad as you thought, and that God had it under control all along, and that it wouldn't have taken you out had you jumped in the issues with faith and trusted God and listen to the voice of him saying, I got you. It's not going to take you out, because that represents his voice for me in a dream, the curiosity I had. I was like, I feel like I might actually float. That's God telling me in real life. That's his voice saying, you are going to float. These problems are not going to take you out. You're going to make it. That was a revelation I got through this pool dream. I hope the message helps somebody. I know what I'm going through. I know what I'm going through. The people that know me personally, they know what I'm going through, so they might understand the interpretation a little more as it relates to me. And I'll share the details someday. Right now, it's not the time to give that testimony. I have to let the testimony complete before I share it. But I hope that helps somebody that's my encouragement to you today. See you in the next video. Peace.